First contact and hidden agenda. The massive ships appeared in Earth's orbit without warning, their obsidian hulls absorbing sunlight rather than reflecting it. 7 vessels positioned themselves strategically around the planet, each one larger than the largest human aircraft carrier. For 3 days, they maintained their silent vigil while governments worldwide scrambled to prepare for first contact. When the transmission finally came, it was broadcast simultaneously on every communication device across the globe. The being that appeared on screens worldwide had 6 eyes arranged in a hexagonal pattern, iridescent scales, and spoke in perfect, unaccented English. People of Earth, I am High Emissary Vector of the Galactic Hegemony. We have observed your civilization's development and deem you ready for first contact. We bring technology, knowledge, and an invitation to join the interstellar community. Within hours, diplomatic channels opened. The hegemony representatives requested a meeting with Earth's united leadership at the United Nations headquarters in Geneva. Diplomats, scientists, and military personnel from every nation converged on Switzerland as the world held its collective breath. Dr. Maya Chen, Earth's foremost xenolinguist, was among the first humans to meet the aliens face to face. As she watched High Emissary Vector descend from his shuttle with fluid, almost serpentine movements, she felt both wonder and unease. Something about his perfectly calibrated smile didn't quite reach those 6 eyes. The hegemony spans 17,000 star systems, Vector explained to the assembled world leaders. Our technology has allowed us to achieve wonders your species has only dreamed of. Interstellar travel, unlimited clean energy, medical advances that have eradicated disease and extended lifespans tenfold. Holographic displays materialized around him, showing gleaming cities on alien worlds, spacecraft traversing the galaxy, and beings of countless forms living in apparent harmony. We offer Earth full membership in the hegemony. In exchange for certain raw materials your planet possesses in abundance, we will provide technological uplift packages that will revolutionize your civilization. The terms seemed generous. The hegemony requested mining rights to specific locations rich in rare earth elements and uranium, promising to use minimally invasive techniques. In return, they offered fusion power technology, advanced medical knowledge, and limited faster-than-light travel capabilities. Most world leaders were ecstatic. An end to energy crisis, climate disaster averted, disease conquered. It seemed too good to be true. Admiral Elena Vasquez, head of United Earth Intelligence, thought exactly that. We're missing something, she told her assembled team in their underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. No advanced civilization gives technology freely without strategic advantage. Her deputy, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, nodded in agreement. The resource quantities they're requesting don't justify the technology they're offering. There must be an ulterior motive. Admiral Vasquez assembled a covert task force, drawing specialists from intelligence agencies worldwide. Their mission: scrutinize every aspect of the hegemony's proposal and activities while maintaining the appearance of eager cooperation. Meanwhile, Earth's governments signed the Hegemony Cooperation Treaty. Alien technical advisors arrived on Earth to oversee mining operations and begin technological transfers. Hegemony bases were established on the Moon and in remote locations across the planet. 3 months into the treaty implementation, Dr. Chen made a breakthrough. Working with linguist specialists and quantum computing experts, she had been secretly analyzing the hegemony's communication patterns. Their language contains embedded frequencies we can't consciously perceive, she explained to Admiral Vasquez. But they affect neurological functions, creating mild suggestibility and dampening suspicion. Further investigation revealed more troubling discoveries. The hegemony's minimally invasive mining operations were releasing trace compounds into Earth's atmosphere, compounds that appeared harmless in small amounts but would accumulate over decades, gradually altering Earth's atmosphere to become more hospitable to hegemony physiology and less so to humans. The technological gifts came with hidden limitations. The fusion reactors contained failsafes that allowed remote deactivation. The medical treatments created subtle dependencies on compounds only the hegemony could provide. Its colonization by stealth, Admiral Vasquez concluded during an emergency meeting with select world leaders. They're not invading with weapons. They're making us willingly transform our planet into their territory. Intelligence operatives discovered references in hegemony communications to Phase 3 species, civilizations at Earth's technological level that were guided into dependency before being fully incorporated into the hegemony as servant races. The evidence was damning, but Earth's options seemed limited. The hegemony's technology far outstripped humanity's capabilities. Direct confrontation would be suicidal. Then we don't confront them directly, said Vasquez. We play along while building our strength. Operation Shadow Response was born. On the surface, humanity embraced the hegemony partnership with enthusiasm. Mining operations expanded. Hegemony advisors were welcomed into scientific institutions, corporations, and government agencies. Earth's leaders publicly praised the benefits of joining the galactic community. Behind this compliant facade, a different reality took shape. In hidden facilities across the planet, human scientists worked feverishly to understand and improve upon hegemony technology. The aliens had carefully restricted what they shared, but they hadn't accounted for human ingenuity or desperation. Dr. Nkrumah led a team reverse engineering the fusion reactors, not only bypassing the hidden failsafes but improving efficiency by 40%. Similar breakthroughs occurred in other fields. Computer scientists discovered vulnerabilities in hegemony network protocols. Biologists developed countermeasures to the atmospheric compounds. The resistance maintained absolute secrecy. Communications used quantum-entangled networks undetectable by hegemony surveillance. Key personnel operated under deep cover, maintaining their regular lives while contributing to humanity's clandestine technological revolution. 18 months after first contact, High Emissary Vector called for an expansion of the treaty. The hegemony requested increased mining quotas and permission to establish larger bases on Earth. In return, they offered the next tier of technological sharing, limited terraforming capabilities, and basic genetic engineering. Admiral Vasquez recognized the acceleration of the hegemony's timetable. The aliens believed humans were becoming increasingly dependent and could be pushed further. What they didn't realize was that humanity was nearly ready to push back. In a secure bunker beneath the Antarctic ice, world leaders gathered to hear Operation Shadow Response's assessment. The plan had evolved from mere survival to something more ambitious. Dr. Chen presented their findings on the hegemony's empire. They'd done this hundreds of times before. Find developing civilizations, offer partnership, then gradually convert them into resource colonies and their populations into servant races. But they've grown complacent. They don't expect resistance because they've never encountered it. Admiral Vasquez stood before the assembled leaders, her expression resolute. We have one advantage. They don't know what we know, and they don't know what we've built. For 2 years, we've appeared to be the perfect compliant species while secretly preparing. We believe we're ready to not just resist, but to fundamentally change the balance of power. The leaders looked at each other, weighing humanity's greatest gamble. The vote was unanimous. Operation Thunderstrike would commence in 30 days. Operation Thunderstrike. Dawn broke over Geneva as High Emissary Vector's shuttle descended toward the United Nations complex. Today marked the 3rd anniversary of first contact, and the hegemony had arranged a celebration of the flourishing partnership between Earth and the galactic community. Dignitaries from across the hegemony had arrived to witness the next phase of treaty expansion. Vector smiled his perfect smile as he addressed the assembled crowd. 3 years ago, we welcomed Earth into the greater galactic family. Today, we deepen that bond with new technological gifts and opportunities. What Vector didn't know was that, as he spoke, Operation Thunderstrike was already underway. In synchronized actions across the planet, specialized human teams activated devices near hegemony mining operations, communication hubs, and bases. These weren't weapons in the traditional sense. They were technological disruptors based on the hegemony's own systems, but modified in ways the aliens had never imagined. The first indication something was wrong came when Vector's translator glitched mid-speech. A moment later, the holographic displays around him flickered and died. Communications from his ship suddenly went silent. Admiral Vasquez stepped forward from the audience. "High Emissary, perhaps we should discuss the true nature of our relationship with the hegemony." Confusion, then alarm crossed Vector's alien features as security personnel escorted him and his entourage to a prepared room. On screens worldwide, President Liu of the United Earth Government addressed humanity. "Citizens of Earth, today we reclaim our independence. For 3 years, we have maintained the appearance of compliance while preparing for this moment. The galactic hegemony came not as partners, but as colonizers. They have done this to countless civilizations before us. Today that pattern ends. Across Earth, hegemony mining operations found themselves contained within energy fields of human design. Their ships in orbit discovered their systems unresponsive, locked down by intrusion protocols that exploited weaknesses human hackers had discovered and exploited. On the Moon and Mars, where the hegemony had established larger bases, specially trained Earth forces moved to secure control. The confrontations were largely bloodless. Human weaponry had been enhanced with technology reverse engineered from hegemony designs, giving Earth forces the advantage of surprise and capability. Within 6 hours, every hegemony asset in the solar system was under human control. In the Geneva conference room, Admiral Vasquez and Dr. Chen presented Vector with evidence of the hegemony's true intentions for Earth. "We know about Phase 3 species," Chen said. "We know about the atmospheric compounds. We know everything." Vector's composure cracked. "This is unprecedented. No species has ever resisted integration. It's impossible that you could understand our technology sufficiently to counter it." "That was your first mistake," replied Vasquez. "Underestimating human ingenuity when our survival is at stake." President Liu joined the meeting. "We're not interested in revenge, High Emissary. We want justice, not just for ourselves, but for all species subjugated by the hegemony." The next phase of Thunderstrike was the most audacious. Using the communication hubs they'd seized, Earth broadcast a message to the galaxy. Dr. Chen had crafted it carefully to bypass hegemony censorship protocols, reaching directly to subjugated worlds. The message included evidence of the hegemony's systematic deception and exploitation, along with technical specifications for the countermeasures humanity had developed. "We offer this knowledge freely to all sentient beings," concluded the broadcast. "The age of hegemony domination ends today. The age of true cooperation begins." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Throughout hegemony space, subjugated species implemented the human-designed countermeasures. Within days, the hegemony's control systems failed across thousands of worlds. What humanity hadn't anticipated was how fragile the hegemony's power actually was. Their control relied primarily on technological domination and the ignorance of their subjects. Once those advantages disappeared, their empire began collapsing with astonishing speed. 2 weeks after Thunderstrike began, representatives from 17 formerly subjugated species arrived at Earth to propose an alliance. These civilizations had technologies and perspectives unknown to both humans and the hegemony. Together, they began constructing a new framework for galactic cooperation, one based on genuine exchange rather than exploitation. The hegemony's ruling council, facing rebellions across their former empire, requested negotiations. They arrived at the neutral location of Ceres, the largest asteroid in Earth's system, their once intimidating delegation now humbled. "You've destroyed a system that maintained galactic stability for 12,000 years, accused Council Elder Chloral, his tendrils twitching with agitation. "We've ended a system of exploitation that stunted progress and caused suffering across thousands of worlds," countered President Liu. "What we build in its place will be stronger because it will be just." The negotiations lasted months. Some hegemony worlds chose to join the new alliance. Others established independent confederations. The former ruling species were not punished, but were required to make reparations to the worlds they had exploited. 1 year after Operation Thunderstrike, the Galactic Concordat was signed on Earth's moon. The new interstellar framework emphasized autonomy, fair exchange, and mutual defense. Humanity, as the catalyst for this transformation, held a position of significant influence, but deliberately refused special privileges. Admiral Vasquez, now Earth's first ambassador to the Concordat, stood on the observation deck of the Lunar Diplomatic Center, watching Earth rise over the lunar horizon. Dr. Chen joined her, datapad in hand. The latest reports from the Technology Exchange Initiative are promising. The medical advances from the Proxima system alone have exceeded our wildest expectations. And to think the hegemony kept all these civilizations isolated from each other, hoarding innovations and preventing collaboration, said Vasquez. Their mistake was fundamental, Chen replied. They saw diversity as something to be controlled rather than cultivated. They never understood that our differences drive our creativity. Across the galaxy, an unprecedented era of cooperation and advancement had begun. Species that had been exploited for millennia now shared their unique perspectives and technologies freely. Scientific progress accelerated exponentially as diverse approaches to physics, biology, and computation cross-pollinated. Earth became a hub of interstellar diplomacy and cultural exchange. Humans, with their adaptability and innovative thinking, frequently served as mediators and problem-solvers in the emerging galactic community. Humanity had not only secured its independence, but had transformed the galaxy. The species that the hegemony had dismissed as easy prey had proven to be the architects of a new cosmic order, one built on respect, cooperation, and the unfettered potential of all sentient beings. As ships from dozens of worlds moved through the solar system, their designs as varied as the civilizations that created them, humanity looked to the stars not with fear of conquest, but with anticipation of discovery. The universe had become infinitely larger and more wondrous than anyone could have imagined before first contact. The day humanity shattered the hegemony's power became known throughout the galaxy as the beginning of the Great Awakening, the moment when the stars themselves became not a frontier to be conquered, but a garden to be cultivated by all.